Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, Martez, Little Hollywood Hall.
So far, we've had 4 fights. 3 of them have gone the distance. If that trend continues, we're going to be here very late, Peter. I tell you that. Looking for a couple of quick finishes, and maybe we will get one here in our 5th fight as Martez Hall is going to make his debut. Again, fighting out of Fearless MMA in nearby Janesville, Wisconsin. Led to the cage by Peter the Ghost Delgado. And we'll see what we get to see from Martez Hall. What do we know about Fearless fighters, Peter?
Fearless fighters, you know, they come to fight every time. Now, Delgado himself was a very talented grappler. He's got a very high fight IQ. He fought the best the state had to offer. He's a true veteran. One thing I've learned about Patrick Delgado is he may be a better coach than he was a fighter, and that's a very high praise considering he was one of the top fighters in the state of Wisconsin. One
of the best fights I ever saw here was Delgado against Lemminger, and it was just, I mean, absolutely electric, and I think that was a split decision if memory serves. I mean, that was such a tight fight. And Lemminger, who's gone on to great things and has done great things here in this very cage, in this arena, really got all that he can handle from Patrick Delgado back in the day. So we'll see if he can coach up Martez Hall the same way. He's getting the final look over, and we're going to take a look over at the tail of the tape as Hall is set, and we will check out his opponent, Jeremiah Huff.
And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, Jeremiah Huff.
Jeremiah Huff making his way to the cage. I got to tell you, one thing I've been impressed with as well by the fighters that we have seen here so far tonight, we're not seeing guys coming in out of shape. I mean, we're taking a look at a lot of amateurs who are ready to rumble here, and that sometimes is pretty rare because sometimes you'll see amateur guys, they come in and they're in all kinds of different shape. The fighters we've seen here tonight, they all seem ready to go.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you one thing, Jeremiah Huff, he was in one of the most exciting fights I've seen in a long time in his last showing at NAFC when he took on Jake Hefter. The guy is as tough as they come. He's willing to eat some shots, to deliver some shots. Came in phenomenal shape. This is a fight this is a real fight of the night contender.
Like to hear that as Huff 2-0, looking to continue that trend and stay perfect in his young career. He enters the cage, and we are just about set for action between Hall and Huff as we go up to Ken Bostetter.
All right, the 5th bout of the evening, amateur MMA, 3 3-minute rounds, brought to you by 94.1 WJJO. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 175 pounds and is making his debut for you this evening. Fighting out of Beloit, Wisconsin, and representing Fearless MMA, Martez, Little Hollywood Hall. Standing across the cage, fighting out of the blue corner. He also weighed in at 175 pounds, holding a record of 2 victories against 0 defeats. Fighting out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and representing Chosen Few Gym, Jeremiah Huff.
2 things have happened since these guys have been coming to the cage. One is, Peter, you said it's a contender for fight of the night. The other thing is Joshua Sterry came over, and as they're being introduced, is tapping us and saying, hey, this is going to be a good fight. I love that. Usually when he says that, you know that we're in for a good fight.
You know, Josh, he understands and knows fighting very well. And I'll tell you, Hall did not take his eyes off of Huff leading in.
And good action, yeah, here early on as Hall and Huff down to the mat with a thud as both guys looking to gain the advantage early on and both coming out with a flurry. Yeah, one
Huff
thing
is in deep on a takedown right here.
Absolutely. One thing about Josh Sterry, and I do have to say this too, he's a matchmaker. I mean, this guy understands good fights to put together. We're rarely disappointed by any fights here in the Chosen Few Fighting Championships.
Absolutely.
He understands what it takes, and we're finally seeing our first stomp of the night as well. We didn't see that in our previous fights, but right now it is Hall that is using that stomp, and I love that move. I mean, it's effective.
He's got a standing guillotine locked in. This might be it.
It might be it. And nope.
Huff pops out.
Huff able to pop out and now throw a couple hammer blows down onto Hall as the crowd into this fight. There's real good action. Takedowns, reversals, hammer blows, chokes, all kinds of good stuff happening here in the first minute of the round number 1.
Fast-paced fight.
Fans always love that, as both guys missing here now. Hall being driven back, but comes back with a couple of low kicks, and Huff goes to the body. Working the body, especially in the early rounds, always a good idea. Tried to find the chin of Huff there with the right. Hall just coming in and swinging wildly with lefts and rights, coming from way outside.
Hall looks really tired right now.
Mouth is open as well, and then he caught a good body shot. I'm telling you, Huff has done a great job early on here of going to the body. In fact, he bent Hall over from those body shots.
This is over right here.
And this is real trouble. Hall.
If I'm Huff, I'm standing and I'm getting right back up.
Hall down to the
very tired.
Yeah, to the mat and trying to conserve some energy here. Huff on top and landing a couple blows. We'll see if Hall can last through this first round right now, as Huff landed some good body shots, and it really did seem to hurt Hall. A lot of guys forget about that. You see a lot of headhunters out there, but you don't see guys working the body. Huff has landed a bevy of shots to the body here in round 1.
And the body shots, body shots is what takes the energy away from you. That liver shot is
the worst.
You don't want to eat
a,
you don't want to eat a big shot to the liver.
If you've ever gotten hit with one of those, that is the absolute worst. It feels like you can't breathe, you feel paralyzed. Those are good shots, and Huff continues to be right on Hall, drives him down once again. Good solid action here in round number 1, but I think what we're seeing is Jeremiah Huff getting the better of Hall through the first 3 minutes. Good round, as we will go to round number 2 next on TVW. Replay right now from good first round action. A lot of electricity from both fighters in round number 1. Round number 2 might be a little bit harder. You thought that maybe Hall was tired. Maybe he can't breathe. He's sitting right in front of us, and we might have our first broken nose of the night, as there is a lot of blood coming out of the nose of Martez Hall.
That's a great point. You know, if his nose is broke, he's forced to breathe out of his mouth.
And it did look like in those replays, I saw a left land right on the nose, right underneath that nose of Hall. And when you do that, that's when you can kind of push the cartilage back up in there and possibly pop it as well. As they worked on it during the break here, but it looks like right away it started bleeding again as soon as the corner got up. So Hall is sucking for air right now. Huff looks to be the fresher of the two, and right away he's going after that nose. He could see it just like we do, and now there is blood spraying everywhere, and Hall's mouthpiece halfway out, because that's the only way that he can get air right now, and he's being driven back. He's in some trouble. If he does have a broken nose, it's really hard to fight like that when you cannot breathe through your nose. Again, I'm not a doctor, I don't know for sure, but I do know that his nose has been spraying blood everywhere here in round number 2, and Huff quickly on top of him as well. He slides off of his back. Hall landing a couple of token shots here, but it's Huff who's definitely had the better of Hall, and Hall, man, he just looks winded and tired, and it's because he can't breathe. There's another left to the nose. Hall driven back. He might have to give up. It's hard for him to stand up straight.
This is going to get
I think you got to stop this fight, as the referee has not stopped it yet, but I don't think Hall can breathe out of that nose. And if that's the case, you just got to call it. I mean, there's nothing but damage can be done here.
Yeah, I mean, this is the beginning of the end. If Huff can just posture up here and rain down some punches, I think that Tom is going to stop him.
Trying to free up a hand here. I think he's got that left hand free right now, pressing against the face and the nose of Hall. And all he's going to need to do is land a shot or two, and that might do it. There was one right there, a left that was able to get through. And now mounting him, Hall trying his best to not leave that nose exposed, but instead what he might have done is exposed his neck to Huff. Everybody's sensing that Hall is in a world of hurt here in round number 2. To his credit, though, he's still alive in this fight.
Yeah.
Because it looked like there were several points there where this fight could have been stopped here in the second round.
Yeah, he fell from fatigue in the second round there. I'm surprised that Huff didn't let him stand up. There's the end.
There's
right
the rear naked choke. That looks like it's in pretty darn good as Hall looking to get out of it, but I don't think that there's a way out at this point for Hall. We'll see his mouthpiece now has come out as he's doing everything he can to fight for air, but in real trouble with 30 seconds still left to go in the second round.
It's just not quite under the chin.
So that's why Hall is still in this fight.
Back to mount. Can get back to mount. There we go.
Huff now, and the referee is going to stop the fight just for a second to get that mouthpiece back in. Yeah, I mean.
And Kane Rizzo is calling for Huff to land some punches down. I could not agree more.
Yeah, this would be a golden opportunity for him to do it, but instead, Hall's going to last through another round. We'll see if he's able to answer the bell for round number 3 when we return to Chosen Few Fighting Championships number 21 on TVW. Looking at second round action, and Hall was so winded and so tired and unable to breathe through the nose. There were a couple times he was doubled over. There we see like his best flurry of the round, but I think that's out of sheer desperation at that point because there's just not much left. And those shots right there, you can tell all arm shots. There's no steam on that.
Absolutely. He landed a nice right that Huff felt, but I mean, this is Huff's fight to finish in my eyes.
I think so, as well as Hall getting some direction from his corner. Boy, he's fumbling, stumbling off his stool, and really, he's going to go out there. I mean, he's a tough guy. I mean, I got to give him credit for that he just keeps coming forward again, making his debut and showing a lot of heart here in this first fight ever is Martez Hall. But sometimes heart can get you hurt in combat sports, and we'll see what happens to Hall here. He's backing up. Huff looking to get on that nose once again. He did land a shot to the nose, now a knee, and now Huff takes a shot as well coming out of there awkwardly, but I still think he's able to go forward and does against Hall. Hall on top here as Huff is on his back. Just strange that Huff has not been able to finish Hall off. One of the odder fights I think that I can remember here.
Yeah, Hall landed a big shot there, but just didn't have anything behind it to finish this. Huff was hurt.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he caught a blow, and I'm surprised. I mean, a lot of the stuff from Hall right now, I mean, just arm shots. There's not a lot of steam, but Huff's in trouble. Man, Hall is really tough. All the credit in the world for a guy for having this much heart. Huff now on top of him again, looking for that mount to maybe end this fight.
And there's just no resistance. I mean, he could move to mount right now if he wanted to.
That's where you would think that he should go, and maybe Huff's either tired or hurt himself. There it is. I mean, you would have thought he could have gotten there earlier. Huff, though, again, rolling around, trying to stay alive, and doing a good job of it so far here, as just Huff's not able to finish Hall off. Looking for the rear naked again. Don't think he's close to getting it, though. Hall, yep, again, is able to get out. And now it's Hall that's on top of Huff.
All heart. You know, I don't know how he's able to finish this. He's very fatigued.
leaves his ribs exposed, and he took some shots there from Huff as Hall, yeah, just continues to come forward, continues to be in this fight, and has survived a ton of damage, especially to his nose, has been unable to breathe for the last 4 or 5 minutes or so of this fight, and yet here he is on top of Huff in round number 3 with 45 seconds to go. None of this seems to be adding up or making sense. I mean, Hall continues to actually even land shots here.
Yeah, no, he's winning this round.
That is absolutely crazy. Huff now is the one on his back who has to do something. And even the referee urging him on, saying, hey, man, you can't just lay there. You're going to have to show something, as the blood continues to come out of the nose of Martez Hall and onto Huff. But Huff himself just looks to be completely gassed here in the 3rd round. Hall finishing strong.
Huff might have a little blood on his face himself, unless that's Hall's.
It might be coming off of Hall's nose. Wow. A lot of credit to Martez Hall for lasting not only the fight, but winning the 3rd round, I think.
Absolutely.
As well as we will go to the scorecards right after this on TVW. Action from the 3rd round. Martez Hall is all heart. I mean, you know, sometimes they talk about guys being warriors in the cage or in the ring, something like that for combat sports, and it's overused. I don't think that it can be understated or overstated enough that Martez Hall has been all heart and has been a true warrior in the cage here tonight.
Yeah, you know, I thought even in the 1st round, I thought he was going to get stopped. Managed to hold on, came back 2nd round, the same thing, and then wins the 3rd round. I mean, that's the unpredictability of mixed martial arts.
Absolutely. Things can turn on a dime, and they often do, and it's taken a little bit here to get the judge's decision and everything tallied up in what has really been a strange fight. I know in talking to judges, sometimes they'll tell me when there's that much damage like we saw in Hall in round number 2 and a guy really stumbling and bumbling, sometimes that's a 10-8 round. And so I'm not sure if that's part of the delay here. We'll see as we're going to go to the scorecards right now. We'll see if Hall, if he can even walk out to the center of the cage. This is quite the dramatic scene here as the doctor checking out Martez Hall right now.
Yeah, and I'm very interested to see how these rounds were scored.
And he's exhausted to the point where he's barely able to stand and or keep his eyes open. And hopefully it's just from exhaustion.
Ladies and gentlemen,
a
round of applause for these 2 fighters.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, they're going to take Hall out. He's not going to be there for the.
Wow. He left it all in the cage. It was amazing.
We go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Judge Sabeda scores this contest 29-28, Huff. Judge Struck calls this contest 29-28, Hall. And Judge Rogers scores this contest 29-27 for your winner, fighting out of the blue corner, Jeremiah Killard Hall.
So a split decision, actually, as Larry Struck had it the other way and gave an extra round to Martez Hall. I'm not sure which round that would have been, but okay, as we're going to hear from Jeremiah Huff.
That 2nd round, I thought it was going to be over. That kid's got so much heart, I don't even know what to think.
I thought the same thing, I'm not going to lie. But he really does have heart. He should be proud of himself. Everybody who came out should support him. I just want to say thank God for allowing me to be here today, for allowing me to make it out here. Thank you all you guys for coming, all the fans for supporting love. Thanks to my family supporting me, always coming out showing love. I just want to say, hey, y'all, for the rest of the fight, turn up. That's all you got to do.
All right, Jeremiah, it was a great time watching you fight. I hope to see you in the near future.
Thank you.
Jeremiah Huff improves to 3.
We're going to take a 10-minute
we still have 9 fights to go here from Chosen Few Fighting Championships number 21 on TVW.